you're going to hear me talking about feed the studs.
Let me get my wish in.
I am fired up.
We ain't finna get into all that.
We
ain't finna get into all that.
Championship, Big London Fletcher. All right, let me ask you this.
We've got the captain joining the show. That's right, London Fletcher joins the show to talk all things linebackers. Then our guys get out on the field to talk defense. And it's Thursday, so we're throwing it back. Fellas, before we get started, you heard we got a new home now.
I heard we're gonna be on TV.
I got a new outfit, man.
Got some new shoes.
WUSA 9, it all starts now.
Welcome into Command Center, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Brian Cole Jr. here with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, and Logan Paulson. Fellas, it's good to be back. The fellas are here for OTAs, but the rookies, they got to take a trip through DC. They took their DC tour.
Yeah.
So Fred, I'm gonna start with you, because you were actually a rookie here, man.
Yeah.
How did you get acclimated to DC?
First of all, what they're gonna do is they're gonna take you on Independence. They're gonna show you all of the monuments, right? And that's what they wanna show you. They wanna show you the city that you're a part of.
Yeah.
That's what we did in the daytime. Now at night, I had my homeboy show me the real DC, all right? And got acclimated to all the waterfronts in Georgetown. I visit Southeast, all right? Northeast, whatever. It's one of those things where this is one of those cities and DMV, two states in one city, you would literally have to get out there to do it to really learn it.
Well, Logan, unlike Fred, you're not much of a party animal. You're not much of a club guy. So how did you get acclimated?
So yeah, I got dropped off. They picked me up in a van with a bunch of other rookies. I'm not a free agent. We went to the facility, dropped me off, and said, "This is where you're living now." I said, "Great." And then, over the course of the off season and stuff, driving around, I got to see the monuments, kind of get a feel for it on your own.
Yeah.
But there was no special treatment. It was like, this is the hotel, this is the facility. Be at both these spots, don't go anywhere else.
Yes.
And Tanner, walking around with you, if you didn't know no better, you would have thought you was from here. Yeah. Because of how much the city loves you. Now, you came here a little later. You didn't come here as a rookie. How did you get acclimated to DC?
I think first thing is first, take care of the field. So you go out there and play well, and then you have time for all that. Because if you don't play well, the city don't want to see you. They don't want to see you. So I went out there and handled business on the field, and then that offseason, man, as soon as I found my way through the city, they found me. So I would tell all the rookies, man, make sure you worry about playing, worry about your job, and all that other stuff will come later.
And as we all know, you're from Miami, right? But you have made Virginia home.
Yeah.
Why is that so important for these rookies to get out and touch the community?
I think it's very, very important. I think one of the things that we all do, we have all done under our, I guess you can say, umbrella of some sort with our foundations and stuff like that, is give back to the people that feel like that we are like the lucky ones or the 1%ers. Yeah. And especially when you're playing in a city or a town that has so much rich history like this town does, not only for the football, but politics and just being the capital. We're right here next to the Capitol. You want to be able to touch them and make sure those kids understand, man, you could be us or even better.
Hey, man, well, you know what? You talked about giving back.
Yeah.
And on Command Center, we like to give back too. And brother, man, you had a birthday not too long ago, man. You know what I'm saying? You had a birthday not too long ago. So we want to bring a delivery to Mr. 829. A custom cake by Mr. Zach Selby right here.
That's so hard. And I did this, not Fred.
Okay. So what flavor is it? That's what I'm asking.
Chocolate.
Okay, there we go.
I knew that was your favorite. Right?
Chocolate, baby.
You want to blow them out?
I mean, are we going to get a song? Fred like to sing sometimes. Zach, you going to sing? You came
blow
in?
Blow them out, brother. Blow them out. I'm going to get it down so the camera can see it. Don't blow them out.
Get your wish in there.
Get my wish in.
He want 10 more years in the league.
All y'all still here, man. I wish y'all would leave.
Here, get after Zach. Get on out of here.
Zach, thank you, man.
Hey, you know what?
Appreciate you, buddy.
Brother, you blew out the candles, but you know what? My boy Fred, still fired up. Take it away.
I am fired up. I'm fired up. Did 2 candles with 8 to the 9 on it. I'm fired up because my boy say he a Gemini. That means there's 2 in here. I'm fired up because what's hotter than somebody's birthday? Did he get older or colder? Happy birthday to Santana Moss. 8 to the 9 every time.
Now, let's take a look at Santana's lucky numbers presented by Maryland Lottery Fast Play Games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. Now, here's a look at Mr. 8 to the 9's 14 seasons in the NFL. That's right, 14 seasons. My man racked up over 10,000 receiving yards, 66 touchdowns, and he has the 4th most receiving yards in Washington history. We can't celebrate Tanner without bringing the whole Command Center crew on. So, let's welcome in the captain, London Fletcher. Commanders family, welcoming in the captain, Big London Fletcher. London, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I go by just Big Fletch. not Big London Fletcher.
My bad, I ain't need no disrespect, Big Fletcher. I gotta make sure I show the veteran legend some love. Now, speaking about veteran legends, right? We have two guys on our team that got ranked in the top 32 in their position group. That's Bobby Wagner at number 20, Frankie Louisville at number 21. Man, how important is that veteran presence in our young linebacker locker room?
Oh, it's extremely important. If you look at, just the middle linebacker position or the linebacker position in general, I feel like it's the lifeblood of your defense. We've had Jonathan Allen as the captain, but you need somebody on that second level that really be the leaders of your defense. And we went out and we got two alpha males, two leaders to play on our defense at the linebacker position. We all know what Bobby Wagner brings to the table with his Hall of Fame resume. And then Frankie Louisville, he's been underrated playing down here in Charlotte. And I can't wait to see what he's able to do wearing that burgundy and gold this season.
But you talked about linebackers being the lifeblood of a defense. Can they help the other guys learn the defense? Can they help this young defense learn Joe Witt's defense and the new scheme that's come in? Or is that just kind of something everyone's got to handle on their own?
No, you absolutely can help those guys, especially when you're dealing with veteran guys. They know how to study. They know how to prepare. You think about Bobby Wagner. He's been with Dan Quinn dating back to their Seattle days. So he knows some nuances of the defense that, in the playbook, there may not be all those certain nuances, different tricks, tips that he can give those linebackers. And not just linebackers, but also whether it's safety or defensive lineman, cornerback, some things, nuggets that they can help them go out and prepare and perform at an extremely high level. And then Frankie Louisville, as a veteran guy, he's played in a couple different systems. So he's another guy that can lean on his experience to help guys learn this defense.
Hey, London, since we're on this subject talking about linebackers, we just heard recently Dan Quinn mention something about Jamin Davis. He want him to be versatile. He want him to be able to, I guess you can say, play in multiple spaces. How do you see, his, I guess you can say, his role in this defense this year? Do you see him more as a pass rusher, or will we see him standing up and doing both?
I think you're going to see him doing both. You look at what Jamin brings to the table. He's really good and was really good blitzing off the edges for us last season. We know about his speed, and I thought he played a lot better in coverage last season as opposed to the couple seasons prior to that. When you got a guy who's versatile like that, it forces the offense to kind of wonder where is he going to be at, how are you going to use him. They had Van Der Esch down in Dallas who did a bunch of different things for the Cowboys last year, where he was, when they in their 3-down linebacker package, he rushed from the edge a lot in what they call their 5-down space in front. So when you have a guy like Jamin, that brings versatility, and then you also have Frankie who can also do some of those things. So we got some kind of chess pieces that we can kind of mix and match and do a bunch of different things with, especially if we want to keep 3 linebackers on the field in certain situations. We can have one of those guys become a fifth lineman, and almost you morph into what is essentially a 34 defense.
Big London Fletcher. All right, let me ask you this.
I can't even keep a straight face.
Can't even, man.
We just want to disrespect you.
London, I have been asked by a couple of fans a very serious question. They asked me, they were like, hey, I know we getting a guy that's going to be a future Hall of Famer when Bobby Wagner, but they asking me, how long do they think we have Bobby Wagner? And to them, I say, I think we getting Bobby Wagner a year older than we got Fletcher when we got him. And I think you outlasted a lot of people in how long you played here. How much football do you think Bobby Wagner still has left, especially from a guy that came here in the same position and I think outplayed his time?
Yeah, no, I think he has a lot of years left in his football career. You watch him, and you look at the productivity, and not just the productivity, can he still run? And Bobby can still run. He can still make plays. We watched him play against us last year, and he made a lot of plays against us. He can blitz, he can cover, he can do a lot of different things. His savvy leadership and his mindset, that'll allow him to play multiple years as well, because as you get older, and we've all were veteran guys and got older in the league, you may lose a step or two, but what you gain from a knowledge standpoint, that you're able to overcome the loss in speed and things like that. But with Bobby, he definitely can play several more years, several more seasons. I don't see, any major decline in his productivity and his ability to make plays.
That was a lot more of an amicable question than I thought we were going to be getting from Fred Smoot. I think all of us were sitting here not knowing what he was going to ask you. But you know what? I think Fred Smoot's in a good mood because we have celebrated Santana Moss's birthday.
Yeah.
Now, like me, you didn't get to make it to the party. However, Fred held it down for us with a speech. Did you get to peep the speech?
No, I did not speak that speech out. I want to see it. He probably cried on Fred.
Y'all say 9. You understand me? 8. 8. 8. Cowboy. 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 8. 8. 8.
Many unbearable hours later.
8. 8. Cowboy. That's what I'm talking about, DC. Right there, all day, all night. Miami, MIA, Mississippi, downtown, DMV, we here to the end, baby.
London, he does not have the poise you have on that microphone, and luckily you got it because you will be doing color analyst. You'll be doing play-by-play stuff on the radio with Logan, right?
Yeah, I ain't doing the play-by-play. Bram gonna have the play-by-play. I'm gonna be the analyst. We all got to roll here. We all got to roll. I'm looking forward to the new broadcast team. Myself and Bram obviously being up in the booth, and Logan being part of the broadcast crew, and looking forward to all that he brings and his knowledge. We're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to get out on and call these games, especially when we're on the road and we leave Smoot back in Ashburn. That's even better.
London, we can't wait to see you, man. We can't wait to hear you, bro. You know, I have no doubt you could do play-by-play, too, if you really wanted to, man. You could do it all.
Hey, I try.
But, man, it's family, man. Welcome in and thanking London Fletcher for joining the show, brother. We'll see you soon, man.
All right, bro.
All right, Fletch.
Now, you will hear his voice on the radio call this season. And our new partners over at WUSA 9 will be airing our first 2 preseason games. That's at the New York Jets and week 2 for at Miami. And some more great news. Command Center will be airing every Saturday night on WUSA 9, so make sure you tune in. Now, with just less than 2 months away from the preseason, our guys have been out at the park putting in work. So, fellas, the players are back in the building, so let's talk OTAs. What are the coaches evaluating at this point, Logan?
I can't really speak to exactly what they're evaluating, but I think they're just saying, how do you pick up the playbook, right? What kind of speed are you practicing with? Are you culturally you identifying with what we want? You know, the toughness to compete, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's really the main thing that they're looking for, because it's not training camp yet. It's not, preseason football yet. There's still a lot left to go there. A lot of physical elements that still need to be discussed, but I think it's just kind of high level. Do you understand what we're doing? Are you playing fast? Are you competing? And if you're doing that, you're kind of setting the floor at a really good level for us.
Yeah, basically what he said. I mean, it's like they're scratching the surfaces of what they're going to probably throw at you, come training camp. And they want to see how much can they obtain now, especially these young guys. Yeah. I mean, most of these veterans, it's a new staff, so you're trying to see if they can get caught up to speed of how you do things. Yeah. But they're not worried about how much they can obtain, because if you can't, then we got to get somebody else for your position. But these young guys, they want to know how much can I throw at them right now and what I have to look forward to, because especially the ones that they drafted, they want to know that if he can get caught up to speed quick, then I know we got somebody. If it's going to take a while, then I'm going to be dependent on one of these, guys, these elder guys.
Yeah, like he said, throwing a lot at them. See how much they can process when they're going through plays in and out of phase. See how quick they back to the huddle. See, do they understand? Like, they want to hit training camp rolling. Well, this is how you do that. You prepare for training camp right now, and I think that's what they're learning.
I think on defense, like when we're watching 7-on-7 and stuff, they're saying, like, they're calling out Mike Sanderson every play. He's got a lot of stuff on his plate, a lot of stuff to learn, but it's to your point, Tan. It's like, how much can you tolerate so that are you ready for week 1? I think this is a great time to kind of establish that.
And Fred, you guys mentioned training camp. Yes, it's not training camp yet. However, these guys still have things to prove. Y'all have been there before. What were the expectations you set for yourself during this time period?
Well, Tanner brought it up like 3 days ago. We was talking. We want to hit here and be in shape. I don't want to come and try to get in shape right now. All right, so I want to physically and mentally be in shape myself, but this is a team bonding time for me. This is when I get to go to dinner with you. This is when I can come over your house and barbecue. You can come over mine. This is when teams are built. All right, they like to say training camp. I like to say now, because the football families win championships.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the biggest thing. I think one of the goals I always set for myself every year, especially after I got past that 4th season, is during the springtime, I want to continue to mold myself into being like almost game ready for them, because you got to think, when you leave here, you get like 2 weeks off, 2 or 3 weeks off, almost a month at times. And you don't want to have to say, okay, now I'm finna go vacate.
Yeah.
Nah, whatever I build up here, I'm trying to hold on to it until training camp. So I always told myself, let me make it out of here healthy. Because I don't want to be home trying to rehab before training camp and saying now I got to go out there and start all over.
Yeah, for me, it was just like straight up make the team. Like this is kind of the foundational piece for that, right? It was like this is gonna sound insane. Every single practice I treated like a game. And people were like, oh, gonna chill out, slow down. I was like, I'm trying to feed my family here. So that was this process for me. That's how it was all the way to the season. And again, a little different than them for sure.
A little different, but the fellas being here for OTAs means that we got some player sound. Let's check it out.
No, it's fun, you know. This is the players' games, okay? And you're going to hear me talking about feed the studs, and we're going to design our defense. We're designing our defense around the players that we have. You know, I think if you're just limited to saying, hey, we run one scheme and that's all we have, and no, you have the players that you have, all right, and you make sure that you are putting them in the best position to play high-level football. And we have really good players. And I'm excited every day to come in here and figure out what's the best way to use them. And one thing I want to say as well, we don't have 11 starters, okay? You're going to put this down, so don't ask me who's starting here. We have 17 to 18 guys. We're going to go out there. We're going to roll a deep crew and to go out there and whip people, okay? So we don't have 11 guys. We have many personnel groups, and now can they own those positions when we put them in there?
Man, it's great defense, great scheme. I feel like Coach Witt and Coach Quinn has put us in a great position, man, and you say feed the studs. So just let those guys up front hunt, and the guys in the back end go get after them.
I mean, like Coach Witt said before, I mean, I don't think he was BSing around when he said this is a run and hit defense. So everybody's just, like I always say, we try to run and play with our hair on fire, and that's something that they living up to right now.
Feed the studs. We love that and got to put that on a t-shirt. Now, speaking of studs, our guys are out on the practice field checking out practice. It's time to just chill, brought to you by Steam Fitters. Steam Fitters Local 602 provides the highest level of HVAC and mechanical piping services.
All right, guys, we've been in the film room quite a bit. Now it's time to get on the field. The guys are out here. Let's break down some of these practice drills. We're going to start with the defensive side of the football today.
Yeah.
You know, Jane Daniels has been getting all this love, but this defensive side of the football has to be playing good supportive football with a young quarterback in there, right?
That's where the energy comes from.
Yeah.
I think when you look at, the coaching staff itself, you know what I mean? You saw those guys on the other side last year, twice a year, and how that defense used to ignite that offense to come out there and do things. Like defensively, we talk about it for so many years. If you can, have the defense to be able to win that championship, the offense, we do what we do best, win the game. So you need that defense, solidified enough so they can go out there and win the big, win the big game. So that's where all the energy is going to come from. We ain't even get into all that. We ain't even get into all that.
Wins championships. And think about this, fellas. With a young quarterback, who's the best way to protect him? Like not giving up points in a running game and a good defense. And what we did this year is retool this whole defense, starting with the linebacker group, add some defensive backs, and that's been the stalwart. When it comes to the defensive line, they've been the stalwart of this team.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the defensive line, Fred. You talked about the energy, Tanner. You talked about defensive line. This group has been just juiced up. Coach Darryl Tapp has been getting after it. Right now they're working some get-off drills. They're working reads. With that defensive line, it's so important to identify the type of angles you're getting. Right now they just had a stunt, right?
Yeah, a stunt right there.
Picking that hip of that that offensive tackle.
Yeah.
I think it's great to see them working on the fundamentals.
Yep.
Kind of understanding how to rush together as a group. Because like you've talked about this before, Fred, there is not one guy that jumps out at you, but there's a bunch of guys that could be pretty good if they all play well together.
And I've been saying the thing about it is they're not individuals. They have to play well together for them to get the sacks that they want. And that's what you want. When you got defensive linemen, you don't want anybody out there playing a one-man game.
Yeah.
You want people out there opening up space for multiple people, and that's what you're seeing right now.
I mean, you see Jamin down there and getting off on the edge. I mean, look, that's one of the things we were talking about. Like, where are we going to have some of these? We have so many linebackers now. Where are we going to have some of these guys? And a guy like Jamin has always stood out to us as a guy that can run, rush the pass, or a guy, who can run, sideline to sideline. So it's amazing to just see how they're trying to add him to the puzzle, when it comes to the guys they have in the room.
Mark my word, if he's going to play predominantly edge rusher with his speed and his size, the NFL is in for a rude awakening. I'm telling you right now, he is one of those sleeping giants on his team that I felt like last year coaching staff did not get the best out of.
Absolutely. He's a guy that I think is really interesting, too, because when you look at Dallas now, they use those linebackers, they all have to rush. When you look at Frankie Louvu, for example, they're right now working reads over here, him and Bobby Wagner. Like, one of the things about him is they all are great blitzers, right? Louvu, tremendous blitzer. And if they can get that out of Jamin, too, you can get a package out there where it's like, as an offensive pass protector, who do I block?
NASCAR.
Hey, is this a down guy? Is he up? Are we pushing protection this way? Because every single week we have a protection plan. Who's eligible? Who the eligible rushers? And finding guys that can do that skill set. Kind of go both ways is extremely, extremely valuable. So again, defensive line working kind of blocking shed techniques here. Linebackers over there, they got that old. I haven't seen linebackers use a crawler sled before. That crawler sled, that's traditionally an offensive line thing. But it looks like they're kind of working those hands to defeat those blocks. Critical part of the game.
I've been saying, when you see a linebacker and them arms extended, he's doing it not just to make sure you don't move. He's doing it to keep your hands off of his body. And like, that's the worst thing you could do is have an interior offensive lineman, one of these tight ends your size, get up on the next level. And once this is what blocking is. You grabbing me, I'm grabbing you.
Right.
To keep that from happening, I need to use my length in my arms.
And I might have misspoke there, Fred.
Damn, boy, grab me all hard.
That's my guy here.
Grab me like that, man.
I might have
all the time you did me like that in the studio.
I might have misspoke, Fred. One of the things that I've loved about this camp for them so far is they've found subtle ways to work on tackling. And this is a way that right now they're working on tackling. They're actually tackling the crowd or kind of learning how to explode those hips up, kind of playing with that shoulder. Because again, like, we're not in pads. So in tackling, they've talked about this. Witt's talked about it. We have to be a physical tackling defense, and the DBs just finish up with something like that. So it's great to see the linebackers getting that work in a time of year where it's really hard to do.
Well, I'll be honest with you. We know, like everybody knows, that sled is a heavy. It's a
son of a gun,
it's sled, and you have to wrestle with this sled, and you got to get some low leverage, low center of gravity to really take on that sled. But you're right. Anytime you can get any tackling in, any form of fashion.
There's your guy McGee right there.
Yeah, you see him?
You saw jacking this thing up. Talking about wrestling. Like
you saw that?
He's getting after that
thing,
man.
But you know, watching these guys out here for the few times that we've been out here, it just seems like these coaches are playing close attention to detail. You know, fundamentally making sure that these guys are fundamentally sound. I think when you forget about this game, you know, we play so much and you put so many years into it, you think you can just line up out here and just do what you do, go through the motions. They're making sure that these guys are prepared to handle practice the way they want to see them handle it. You know what I mean? Play with that intensity at the same tempo and also know what your job is consist of. And that's what I'm seeing when I'm watching these guys out here go through these drills.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's also great to see Joe Witt, Dan Quinn kind of bouncing between the DBs, the linebackers, the defensive linemen. And we can stay out here and talking all day. We got to get back to the studio. Brian, back to you.
Always good to see our guys out on that field. Shout out to them for breaking down practice. Now, if you want more of this great content live, come out to Franklin Hall next Friday at 7 p.m. for Command Center Live. That's right, we are doing a live Command Center taping. That is June 14th at 7 p.m. at Franklin Hall.
A lot of things on the horizon to be excited for, Commanders family. And something else we know you're excited for are rookies. Our rookie linebacker Jordan McGee pulled up for raising hell with the rookies. Let's check it out. This one is a very special one. We got the linebacker out of Temple, Jordan McGee, brother. How you living,
sir,
man?
I'm feeling good.
My
How you
man
doing?
got the goals in it.
Yes, sir, representing.
And we could tell by the draft class that Dan Quinn was going after certain guys.
Yes,
he told us before even the draft, he said, I'm looking for dog-ass competitors.
Definitely.
How do you fit that mold?
I just like to fly around, hit, and bring that leadership. I was a 2-time single digit at Temple. That's big over there. That's the tradition over there. So just being recognized by your peers as one of those type of leaders, that type of guy on and off the field, it's a blessing in itself.
And so as a leader, as somebody that has been at the top of his game your whole career, now you're coming in, you're a rookie, right?
Freshman
Yes,
year
sir,
again.
man.
Freshman year.
How do you make a name for yourself, even during things like rookie minicamp?
Yeah, just go out there, you're not gonna know everything, try to learn everything you can, but you're not gonna know everything. You're gonna make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, but just giving that 100% effort, flying around, that's what I'm known for. Always giving 100% effort, flying around and just making plays.
Can't wait to see what McGee does on this field. Now, our 5th round pick out of Temple University put on a show his senior season, amassing 80 tackles with 45 solo tackles and 3.5 sacks. Gotta imagine he is going to have a lot to learn from Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner.
Commanders family, we like to have fun at the end of the show. So you know what, it's Thursday? So we're gonna bring back something called Throwback Thursday. Logan, you know what that is?
No.
No, he's too young. He's too
It's
young.
when you throw back to the good memories and the times that you had before. So we're gonna take it back to when you guys were rookies.
Good old days.
I want to hear some rookie stories, Fred.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to start with you. We know you got all the stories. We're going to start with you. Hold on now.
I done told y'all most of my rookie
Man,
stories.
buckle your chin strap. Buckle your chin
You see
strap,
how
please.
clean that is?
The ripped gray
Girl,
shirt.
listen to me. That's running in the wind because I'm running the 4-3. My story actually is not a rookie story. It's my second year this happened now that I think about it. All right, we're playing and Marvin Lewis is my defensive coordinator. In the middle of the year, we trade for a guy by the name of Big Daryl Gardner. And if people first names start with Big, you already know how big they are. He's 6'6", 300 plus pounds. He comes here on like a Monday. We practice, we go home. So 2 hours after making it home, my doorbell ringing. I go to the door, it's Big Daryl Gardner. Now I just met you like 24 hours ago. Right? Not only is it Big Daryl Gardner, but he got a big old bag with him. Right? His bag is full of his clothes. He politely walk in the house and he don't leave for 3 weeks. All right? Yes, he comes to practice with me. I take him home. I cook him breakfast. I do everything. It had got so bad.
How'd you get to leave?
I had to go to Coach, I had to go to Coach Lewis and tell Coach Lewis, could you please get this man out of my house? And eventually Coach did talk him into leaving my house. But for at least a month, my house had got taken by one of my teammates, and there's nothing I could do about it.
Prison in his own house.
You just let him.
Hey, listen, I cooked him breakfast and dinner daily.
Logan, I don't know how you're going to top that, but you're next.
Yeah, so this is me. Look at this picture.
Oh,
Not as good
wow.
as Fred's, but I don't know if you can notice this nice little hook in my nose here. I got that from a guy named Chris Cooley. I almost said Fred Smoot. Chris Cooley. So one day at practice, Chris Cooley's like, oh man, you got to change your face mask. Change your face mask. It looks weird. I had this big old face mask. I was like, no, I like my face mask. So one time I came out of special teams, it gave me like a little kicker face mask.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't have
set
time,
you up for failure.
Didn't have the time to change it back, so I'm out there playing ice, like running ISO. Andre Carter's out there. Got a nice hard head, bam.
Yeah.
Blood all over the inside of my face mask. I go to the trainer, I say, hey man, you know, I think there's something wrong with bleeding. He's like, I think your nose is broken.
Yeah.
So going to the training room, they say, oh, we don't do operations on broken noses. Like, you know, sorry, man.
You just gotta let it fit.
On the ticker, as I walk out of the doctor's office, Big Ben getting his rhinoplasty done to fix a broken nose. So that's why I got that.
So they just said they didn't want to spend the money on
No,
you
it
because they
wasn't
know.
and now I got this nice little hook, which is fun.
Lord have
You look
mercy.
like an actor that was on Con Air, but I keep that to myself.
Logan looks like the defender of the North right here. Like you used to work on the wall.
Nicolas Cage Jr.
Now, Tanner, last but not least, birthday boy. You good for a start?
Oh my, look how young he
You see that face? I was mean mugging something. Nah, that's how I was. I had the angry man, the little short complex back in those days. I was angry man. No, but honestly, man, the only story I have from my rookie year that's worth telling, I didn't play a lot my rookie year. I was hurt, so I didn't play until probably like week 12 of that season. But I got a story. Before I got injured, before the preseason game, I went out to dinner to Houston's.
Yeah.
I forgot, I think it was around somewhere in Hempstead, Roosevelt Field Mall, if I'm not mistaken. Me and Torrey Woodbury, he was a free agent quarterback signing for us, undrafted free agent. We go to dinner, we sit at the bar, Houston's, we young bucks, man. We just happy to have a little break.
Yeah.
And we sitting there eating, and all of a sudden we hear all this commotion behind us. It's like the whole defensive line and linebackers coming from eating their dinner from the back. So they all being nice to us. Hey, Rooks, what's up? Y'all good? And the last one kind of gave me that wink, like, man, enjoy dinner. And then I get this waitress come over and lay down this receipt from their meal. Like, those guys left it for you to pay. And I looked at her, I looked her in the eye and say, you gonna get fired.
But what she didn't know is young Tanner wasn't trying to sit there and pay for nobody. So
I politely got up and I didn't even eat my food. I walked out. And the next day it was a whole big commotion back at, our facility saying that Santana walked out on the, those guys' meal. When they found out it wasn't my meal, it was theirs. Those guys kind of was a little pissed off.
Now that's a throwback.
That is a throwback. Tanner, do you remember how much the bill was?
Yeah. I really don't. I know it was probably north of $800-something. It wasn't crazy, but it was something I wanted to pay.
Well, Tanner, hopefully you get some bills picked up for you. Birthday boy, man. Happy birthday to Santana Moss, Commanders family. Until next week, we'll catch you on YouTube.
There you go.
Still got it.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.